why do you want to get to $1 billion?
Well, when I was 5 years old, I wrote a business plan to buy a bank. And
Do you have this business?
You're sick. You're sick in the head a little bit.
What the hell?
3, 2, 1.
All right. Today we have a repeat guest, Allon Avgi. Allon, let me just say, you threw the craziest New Year's Eve banger that I've ever been to in my entire life.
I love you.
Oh, that was well worth
I
the
was
drive out there.
sweating all over the place on that dance floor, man. It was a great time.
I was so happy you guys came. I mean, people were running over there like, there's a bus. And there's
yeah, we
all
took the
these
bus.
people
Yeah.
coming out.
We took the bus.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I'm like, they're from a place far away called Jersey. And everyone ran over to the gas, and they're like, pump our own gas while we can.
Dude,
best
honestly,
person I met there was your mom.
She's the best.
Angel.
Oh my God.
Bro,
She's a sweetheart.
That night inspired me. I saw what you were able to buy for your family, the house that you had, and just the life that you built for yourself. And I was like, man, I got to be able to do this for my parents one day. So congratulations to all your success, man. Cheers.
Thanks,
Cheers.
man. We did that together. That was an awesome end result of 20 years in the same place to move on to somewhere great like that. And that's my parents' house. They live there. I don't live there. I live a couple minutes away from there.
Nice. Great backyard, great pool. Really beautiful house. And I did have to spank some people up in ping pong, but
Me too. John still owes me money for that. I'm pretty
Eric
sure.
hustled me.
No, I told you I was good. He's like, oh, you're not that good. I'm like, I'm good.
Are you good?
I'm pretty good.
You guys have a ping pong table here?
21-10. He smoked me.
I'm the best here. Let that be known.
Dave's good.
Oh, we haven't
Dave's
played
better than me, but I'm pretty good.
If I let you score a couple points.
Oh,
shut
shut up.
That's
Stop,
racist,
stop.
quite frankly.
Yeah.
It's not.
You're
That
losing
is.
your race against the rest of
Yeah.
us.
You're right. I do have a competitive advantage in a couple of things in life. Math and ping pong.
I was going to say Excel, but yeah, okay.
I want to play ping pong.
You're good?
I'm okay. Some would say.
Well, you have ping.
You're
ping pong,
good.
You have ping pong nights at your house Wednesday nights.
I used to every Thursday, and believe it or not, it became too big, so I had to slow it down. I had like 40 investors over just ripping ping pong.
That's actually awesome.
It was so cool.
Jay Silverman made a couple trips out too, right?
He did. Jay Silverman's doing great with me.
Oh, you guys are in on a deal together?
Yeah,
Is this the Jersey City one or?
Long Island.
Okay.
Wow.
That's great.
So, Allon, for the guests that have not watched the first podcast with you coming on, can you just kind of give the audience a little catch up on who you are?
For sure. I am Allon Avgi, king of Narnia. No, I'm kidding. I buy real estate all over the country, primarily Long Island. I started my company 6 years ago with a hard money loan, and it's now spurred into some beautiful acquisition real estate development company, primarily distressed and opportunistic assets, repositioning very quickly. I raised money through syndications, joint ventures, and at this point, a lot of my own money as well. And slowly transitioning more into that direction, because we do really good deals. So I try and keep as much equity as possible. And when I raise, it makes it kind of easy because people are like, why don't you buy it yourself? I'm like, I would if I could. I can't buy everyone by myself. I've got 8 deals under contract now with another 6 coming up. Actually, I signed 3 more contracts between Friday to Monday. So I'm going to be at 11 and another 4 to 5 coming up. I'll be at like 16 properties under contract from $600,000 to $15 million per deal.
Which is the triple net? The biggest one is the triple net one that I'm shopping for you.
It's the second biggest one.
What's the one bigger than that?
It's a $15 million industrial building.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice. One thing that I love about you is your goal. You got to tell everybody your goal.
So my goal is to hit $1 billion in holdings by the time I hit 30 years old, which is about 3 years away. And I love you too, Eric.
Listen, man.
When you're gonna stop it there, one thing I love about you.
No,
you made eye contact.
No, it's when I see that, and I'm just so sure you're gonna hit it, and it just makes me happy inside. I'm like, this guy, he knows what he wants, and he's going after it. And I think having such a clear target, I think it's so powerful, right? Just knowing this is what I gotta get to, and just working your way backwards. I see you working every day towards that goal, and it's just awesome to see, bro.
I'm so happy you said that, and I appreciate that a lot. It's so funny how the journey's changed over the years. You know, in the beginning, I was like, sell nothing, and that got me to 100 million. And now I'm like, okay, I need to start selling so I could go bigger while these times are upon us. You know, because now it's a very opportunistic time. The last couple of years was a very low interest time. We have somebody in this room that put out a lot of debt. I'm not going to drop names or anything, but he made a ton of money, spent a lot of it at Sexy Fish in Miami. And Kiki's on the river too, so I've heard. But those days are kind of done. Hopefully he's going to make a lot of money, but it's a different interest rate environment. And because of that, there's a lot more opportunity, which I'm clearly taking advantage of. I think I positioned myself extremely well, not knowingly extremely well. And now is my time to rip and hit that $1 billion goal.
I noticed that you were like asset class agnostic and market agnostic. I mean, most of your holdings are in Long Island, but overall, you're pretty open to taking down deals nationwide and different asset class. I've always had trouble. I mean, whenever I get an industrial deal, I don't know what the heck I'm looking at. Right? I see a self-storage deal. I know how to underwrite it, so maybe I'll take a look, right? That's why we're doing a storage deal right now. But it just blows me away that you're able to do this. Like, what's the secret sauce?
Well, let me just clear up two things. You can underwrite anything, Mr. Troy. You're a very smart man.
You're right. I can
That's
figure it
number
out.
one. That was really important to get out there. Number two is I'm not necessarily market agnostic and or asset agnostic. In Long Island, I'm asset class agnostic. In Long Island, I'm market agnostic because I know the whole island inside and out. My infrastructure touches the entire island. Market-wise, I'm hyper-focused on Texas, on Houston, Texas, and in the North Little Rock region of Arkansas, strictly multifamily. So in Long Island, asset class agnostic, market agnostic throughout the island and the boroughs. Going into different markets, I hyper-focus on 2. I've been in 11, and I've scaled back from those 11 to New York, Houston, Little Rock, Arkansas. That's it. I wish I could be market agnostic with one asset class being multifamily, but I can't because it's very difficult to grasp that right now. Over time, I will get there, probably on some sort of co-GP structure. The problem is that it's extremely difficult to build a huge holdings company being asset class agnostic. And this comes with age and experience. You know, when you're younger, you're like, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Just like John Libretti in Miami. And then as the age starts to hit you and the experience, forget the age, the experience starts to hit you, you say, wow, I need to slow down. You know, I need to stop being so childish and want everything that I can see. And I need to focus because that's what's going to get me much bigger, much faster. Economies of scale are really everything.
I love that word, focus. I think Dave could probably speak on focus right now for us, but you know, it's the same thing. It's when you're young in business, especially when you have like a little bit of success, right? You're like, I can do anything, right? Like I'll do Amazon stores, and I'm gonna buy industrial and strip malls and self-storage and buy stuff in Alaska, and it's all going to be great. And then you realize after having your teeth kicked in a couple times, you're like, all right, let me find out what I'm really good at, right? Yeah. So I'm curious, it seems like, obviously you've had success in multifamily. Why those 2 markets specifically after being in a few?
Well, I've been in the 11 markets I told you about. I've just found a lot more success over there.
Okay.
Arkansas is very easy to manage, I've found. So easy to manage. It's unbelievable when you have the right infrastructure and people, right? And I think I have those people and that infrastructure over there. Houston, Texas, I'm buying at the right basis because we know the demographic really well. We know the areas well. I've got the management down. There was a huge learning curve to get there. Massive learning curve and a lot of mistakes made along the way that I'm getting myself out of right now, as you know. So that's why those 2 markets. Long Island, I mean, I would say I'm top 3 most active players in Long Island right now in the middle market space. So I love that market. I know it inside and out. Very easy lease up. Very good basis on the properties we find. Very competitive. But the other markets I was in, like St. Louis, Detroit, Binghamton, a couple other places, Memphis, I've been pulling out of. One, the landlord laws aren't so friendly in Detroit and St. Louis. Two, I'm not in like the upper echelon, like of people over there. I didn't cement myself over there, and I don't have the economies of scale, nor do I think I want to. Maybe I'd revisit St. Louis, but Detroit, I think, is like shiny object syndrome. You're like cheap houses, high rent.
Yeah.
Not really. There's a lot of work that goes into it. You're dealing with tough people that are used to a certain way of life. Once that crisis happened and all the cars, like all the car manufacturers left, they're used to a certain style of life. Actually, in Detroit, if you drive through the streets, have you guys been there?
Yeah.
So you've been there.
I've never been.
I've not.
You
8
drive
Mile,
through
bro.
the streets. What?
8
Mile?
Everybody from the 313, put your fucking hands up and follow me. Come on, 8 Mile, bro.
Isn't it crazy, Detroit? When
amazing.
you go there, you're driving through the streets in these rougher areas where people are picking up houses left and right, like Section 8 Kingdom, they call it, right?
Yeah.
People burn down the houses for the insurance money. And I'm
Yeah.
talking like 30 grand. The materials cost about 5 times more than they're getting from insurance. And they're just burning down streets. They burn down streets to get insurance money. I mean, it poses opportunity. Just how heavy of a lift do you want to, do you want to carry? I know you like to work out, but how heavy of a lift do you want to carry in order to make a certain amount of money in a certain amount of time?
Right. That's okay. So, and then, I mean, so Long Island, you'll go anywhere. And then you just built some economies of scale, I guess, in these other markets. And then obviously landlord-tenant laws are better. Was it market conditions as well? Does that play into it?
Arkansas's market conditions are like plateaued. They like don't exist. It's like, this is us. You want to go duck hunting or you want to go to church?
Right.
They're like, it's like a very finite amount of things to do there and great people. Wow, do I like the people over there. I mean, they're amazing.
Like nicer, like what specifically about them?
Salt of the earth, like good people. Their word is honest, I mean, Arkansas, they'll shake hands. I hope you go over there. Yeah, seriously.
Dude, I've been saying Arkansas. I think I heard you were going to Arkansas, and I heard one of my mentors say Arkansas, and I said, we're going to Arkansas. That was another shiny object syndrome that I pulled back from, but I've heard it's a fantastic real estate market.
Look,
Great current yield.
Yeah, you just need to know your business. Like shiny object syndrome. You go to Arkansas, you're finding units for 30 grand a pop. You don't buy those units.
Right.
You stay far away from those units. You don't want those 60s, 70s, 80s vintage product because 2000 vintage is getting the same rent as that vintage. And your OpEx is so much higher in the 70s and 80s vintage.
Yeah.
I bought 2014 product at $70K a door. It was a home run deal. Value add like 10.5 cap in Arkansas. Full cash out refi with Arbor, sub 1 year.
Nice.
Pulled out all your equity.
Yeah, we're in the middle of it right now. That's a 67 unit property. Wow. Barely any maintenance, barely any headaches.
To 2014?
Yeah, 2014 vintage.
Wow, nice.
Yep. So I'm looking more at like 80s plus 2000 year, 100K a door range. And you show that to people that are new in the business or they're New Yorkers and they're like, why would I go there to pay 100K a door? It's like, whoa. First off, they're not reassessing your taxes. Second off, your management's extremely easy. Everyone's paying you. There are no such thing as evictions. I didn't evict anybody. I have hundreds of units over there.
Wow.
If I have a problem or I push rents, they just get up and leave. Wow. So you need to
That's
know your
crazy.
business. And I just basically explained it all. So you're welcome. I hope you guys all make a lot of money.
Wow.
You have that credit union out there that you work well with too. You that's where you take all your perm stuff too.
So it's funny, the way the local banks over there work. It's like you need a relationship. You need to be in with a current existing customer. So that's why I didn't want to even release that. I wanted Mr. Troy over here to go there and be like, get me debt. And then they'd be like, sorry, sir, you have to partner with somebody that knows Arkansas.
It's because I'm Asian. Let that be known. I'd have to have Eric go down there.
Still good at Excel though. You're still good.
Dude,
Eric, bro, the way he's dressed up and everything, they'll be like, you're not from around here.
No,
boy."
I can blend. I can blend. I
no,
can blend.
Eric could pull it off.
I
man.
grew up in the sticks, so
Did you?
Yeah, no. I
In
grew up
Jersey?
in Jersey, and honestly, this might be revealing a little too much, but Arkansas for me is like a dirty word. Growing up, my mom, when I was in college, moved to Arkansas.
No way.
With her boyfriend, and so when you come home from college, and you go hang out with your friends, everybody stays. I had nowhere to go, so I would stay with my friends. And then the ongoing joke was like, oh well, my mom's in Arkansas doing. I don't know how she's doing. I don't know where she is, but. So I always just used to make fun of Arkansas. And then every time Dave says Arkansas, I'm like, yeah, okay, Arkansas.
10 caps, bro. 10 caps. Look, like, I want to bring a little bit of focus on that $1 billion mark. You have a 3-year North Star, right? Where you're going to go, and you're putting all your resources and times to get to that goal. I recently had that revelation. Bro, since I started in business about 5 years ago.
That's it?
And yeah, about
Yeah,
5
we've
years.
come a long way in 5 years.
4.5.
Yeah, I'm not happy
Wow.
with where we are. That's what it's very, very, very upset.
What did you do
because
before?
I worked in private equity real estate, just underwriting deals, true to my nature.
I didn't say anything.
Honestly, I hated it. I was just good at it. It's just like something that you hate to do, but you're great at, so you can't get away from it. But I had this revelation that over the last 5 years, the first year of business where I was brokering hard money loans, right? That's how I met Eric. I was doing short sales. I was taking listings. I was wholesaling properties. I was looking at fix and flips and buy and holds. And I said, oh my God, I need to focus. And then I went into wholesales and lending. And it was like, it was a little bit more focused, and the business grew like 1,000% that year, right? And then we started making some real money, and I was like, oh, everything I touch turns to gold, player. So I was like, I'm set, I'm good. So now I'm just like 20, I'm like 25.
What'd you make, like $1 million?
Yeah, like a million, like a little over $1 million a year, and like I think we're hitting like $2 million in revenue or something like that. And I was like, "Ooh, player, we made it!" And like I'm filled with testosterone. I still haven't hit past 25, right? And I'm like, I'm going on 3 dates Friday. I'm going on 3 dates Saturday. I had it booked up, bro. It's like morning, afternoon, night.
Dude, one time we're at a dinner. Dave has we're at a dinner. It's all of our boys, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta leave. I got a date." We're like, "What are you leaving for, bro?" And he gets up and leaves, and we're like, "Why are you leaving?" He goes, "You just mad because I'm winning," and pops his collar and walks out with the chain out. And I was like, I've never hated this guy more in my life.
So anyway, all right. So that was another shiny object syndrome, right? And then COVID hits. I'm buying Amazon stores. I'm dumping like $200K into Amazon.
Hence your
stores.
reference.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I said
like it's this moron.
Yeah.
So I dumping $200K into Amazon stores. I'm like, bro, I'm making like 30% cash on cash returns a month. Who beat this, right?
Did you?
It was like more like 15, but until the store shut down and I lost a good chunk of money. And then I'm like, oh man, I'm bored of my current business. Let me go flip some cars. So I started I did like a freaking car dealership. I'm about to start a car dealership flipping a car a week. And I'm like, then I touched turns to gold, right? Hyped up. And I ended up buying 2 expensive cars because I wanted to scale up and do some bigger deals. Ended up losing everything I made on those 2 deals, right? Then I'm like, we gotta get and then it went to fund to funds, and then it went to serial.
Fund to funds is within the scope of your
within the
business.
scope, right? But it was like next level, like it was more private equity managing capital and deploying into LP positions, and then I went out and I got a commitment for $2 million of VC to start another company, and like all throughout this process. I'm like doing stuff that's not making me cash today, but it's still making cash today, just not where I could be. And so, long story. I know I'm long-winded here. My apologies. But
all right.
I go to CG.
Let it out.
This is like a therapy session for me. I really get to let it all out.
This is the podcast of David Choi.
Yeah. Deals.
This is a great podcast. I love it. I actually love your guys' podcast. Wait, keep going, please.
Okay. So I'm I'm doing all this, and I go to Collective Genius this quarter, and I talk to the owner of Collective Genius, and like kind of the theme of this podcast was the tortoise versus the hare, right? The tortoise takes his time, gets his, and he's consistent. He's doing the same thing. He's taking a step forward. The hare is boop, ripping off and taking a pee. He's going on little vacations. He's doing this, that, and the fourth, getting distracted.
You're the hare.
And I realized, Jason pulled me aside. He goes, "You're a hare. You're the hare." And he's like, "You got to focus." He goes, "Dave, like, how difficult would it be for you to make $1 million a month in your active income business, which is wholesaling, flipping properties, right?" I said, "Nah, not that hard. Like 20 deals a year. I could probably get that done in like a year and a half. If I focus, lock in. This is all I do.
20 deals a year to make $1 million.
20 deals a month.
Okay.
Which is relatively easy, right? And there's guys in my space doing that, my age right now.
How many are you doing now?
We're doing like 6 to 7 right now. We dropped from like 10 to 15, and market slowed down. I wasn't involved because I'm so busy raising money for deals. And
How many deals have you guys done?
A lot.
No, buying.
Upwards of.
Buy?
Yeah, that you've raised money for.
That we've raised money for.
Oh, not many. We've done like 5 syndications.
Yeah.
And we bought about like 29 properties, but separate properties. But we self-funded everything from the wholesale company, right?
So we have a cash business basically, and then we have like the investment side of things. And what we started to find was that as we focus more on our investments, that the cash business wasn't generating nearly as much cash. So we're focusing on raising money for our deals, and then we're making less cash. But it's like if we just focus on raising cash, we wouldn't even have to raise money. You know what I'm saying?
$7.3 million we're raising right now. And it's like, bro, if I just focus for the last 5 years, I'd be buying this with my own cash.
What are you guys buying?
A 79 unit in Austin, New York.
Got it. Yeah, the one you told me about
Yeah.
earlier.
So it's
It's a lot of money to deploy.
It is.
For
It's
79 units and where?
It's we're
Austin,
doing,
Westchester County.
we're
Got it.
buying a 55% loan to cost.
Got it.
So it's very low leverage. It's cash flowing day one, and the rents are 25% below market rent. And so
Who's doing your debt?
Fannie Mae. I'm sorry, John. We ended up going with Walker Dunlop.
Yeah, no, I know this.
It's not okay.
It's okay.
You're sitting right there.
No, there's a reason
There's a
behind
reason.
this
There's a whole
story.
reason.
There's a
Yeah.
reason.
It's
John,
the-
hit him.
No.
We would have
I got your
given the
back.
business to John. He probably could have saved us a couple basis points on the interest and the points, but the guys who brought us the deal already had it lined up with Walker Dunlop, so we just took over. The
I'm gonna get you back on track. So you're saying all this stuff. You've done a million things, not to focus. You really
Yes.
like his
and
goal.
so when you say, "Hey, dude, ever since I've met you, you've been saying $1 billion. I'm getting to the $1 billion mark," and it's like I'm sure that's why Eric was like, "Wow, I really love that about you." Can you talk about like how you're staying so locked in and how you like the things you've had to say no to stay focused?
Yeah, well, it's like a switch. I went through that ride that you just had when I was a little bit younger. So that switch was all that needed to happen where it's like, all right, I need to focus. Mind you, I still get to do fun things, but I've learned my lesson that it can't all be mine.
Right.
So like I'm opening a couple businesses. I am literally zero involvement. If somebody even comes to me and says, "Allon, what about this?" I'm like, don't even. I don't have an opinion. Forget about Allon. He doesn't exist. He's good for one thing. It's money and buildings.
Wow.
That's it.
I love that.
So I don't want to get distracted at all. Hyper focused while getting to do those other things. It's like that deal I just told you about, the big one. It's I have to buy. It's it's 15 million all in. I have to buy a business with the building. I have somebody that'll buy the business once at the closing. He'll buy it from me.
Nice.
Maybe we'll go in partners on the business, but he's the operator. Nothing to do with me. Instead of looking and saying, okay, this business will make me $1 million a year, it'll make me $500,000 a year, and he can
You don't
have
have
it.
to touch it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want any part of it because I need to focus on my
Smart.
goal. Also, you realize it's all steps, Like I talk about this all the time. It's stepping stones, stepping blocks, escalator, elevator. It's like 4 levels. I'm right now on the stepping blocks point of my career. I'm past the stepping stones. I've been through the journeys, through the rocks, through the blood, sweat, and tears. Now I'm on the stepping blocks. It's bigger steps.
I love that.
I can do $15 million deals. I have people that'll cut me checks on a phone call. I want to get to the escalator next, where I'm consistently doing $20 to $50 million deals. That's the escalator of our business. Once I hit the elevator, it's like you're doing whatever deal size you want, whenever you want, on one, sign of a check, and it's very easy going. You have the whole infrastructure, you have the workflow, soup to nuts. You don't have to worry about anything. You just have to say yes or no, right? So that's the elevator side of the business. Send it up and down. You get, you bring people up with you through co-GPing, through debt, through title, through everything. That builds your reputation. Well, that sustains your reputation. You build it on the stepping stones, blocks, and escalator point of your career.
I like that.
So, and now every business has that.
Yep.
So you just have to get there. Like Brad is on the escalator part of his business. Brad's not on the elevator yet.
No, not yet. I agree with that.
There's people at Arbor doing, 5 to 10 bill a year.
Yeah.
They're on the elevator.
Yep.
Brad is doing whatever, 1 to 2 billion a year. He's on the escalator. He's getting up there. But if he lost focus, he would still be on stepping blocks. So it sounds like you're repositioning your focus back to your roots.
Dude,
And
I think everybody, I think everybody, every successful entrepreneur I know at some point has struggled with the focus, the shiny object syndrome.
of course,
Do you feel like that?
yes. It's just it gets boring sometimes.
it does.
The
It
same
does.
thing over and over.
But then you go bigger, and you want to be a whale. I wear whale socks.
Wow. He's legit wearing. What are those?
He's
What are those?
You only
Humpback?
have
Are those
you just
humpback
wear whale
whales?
Socks only?
These are whales.
Are those humpback?
Discriminate
What,
against the whales, Eric?
what kind of whale is that?
South Korean whales.
Oh, I bet you they're good at. I bet you they're good at Excel.
So these whales,
You know what? I'm
I wanna
done
be a
with
whale.
these racist jokes, damn it.
I want to be a whale. So much so I wear whale socks.
I love that. That's awesome.
And it's you learn very quickly when you're self-made, right? When you come from the bottom.
Right.
When you get it given to you, it's like so much easier to make these mistakes and whatever, but that deep desire, that endless feeling of not being enough, not doing enough,
Right.
like I feel like that one can't be taught. That's just within.
So you by your analogy, you're on the escalator right now,
No, I'm on the stepping blocks.
stepping blocks.
Yep.
Okay. And what is the hurdle impeding you from getting to the escalator, the next step?
Or what's going to get you there.
Oh yeah. What's the yeah?
I think I need a better infrastructure and I need a better business model. And by business model, I'm bringing us back to the beginning of our podcast by becoming more focused on my asset classes and markets. And that's a challenge,
Yeah.
because now the shiny object syndrome is like, oh my God, 500 units in Houston, like in the submarket of Houston, like I want that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I can't take that down.
Mhm.
I got to keep focusing on the 10 to 15 millions in the heart of Houston, the areas we know, the areas we can manage, or Arkansas or New York. But even that I need to scale down. You say, all right, I'm just in, this place and I'm going to be the best here.
Like a laser. Like you're going from basically like a spotlight to a laser focus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's such a challenge. So I think that's what's going to get me closer to the elevator. I cut out 8 markets in the last year.
Take me through that. Take me through that thought process. I mean, when
Look
you're-
how he perked
yeah,
up.
you did. So I mean, that's a conversation with your team, right?
Like I get
How does that
deals
go?
in the Bronx,
Yeah.
right? And we do deals in Brooklyn. And the Bronx is very close.
Uh huh.
The Brooklyn, Manhattan, everything. And it's like, I don't want to go there because I don't know it.
Yep.
And they're like, but it's a great deal. We know the fundamentals, everything. I'm like, let somebody else make the money. We'll wholesale the contract. I don't want to wholesale the contract.
Mhm.
That's not getting us to $1 billion.
Oh man, this is music to my ears. It's
Bring this
like
closer.
it's like
I've never seen you
Would
perk
you-
up like that.
because you know what? It just means a lot to me right now in my phase of life. I've realized that I'm addicted to chaos.
Me too. No, he's so right. Me too.
Me too. I
And you
hate.
gotta-
I hate when everything's going perfectly. I'm like,
Where are the
what
problems?
is going on? I'm like,
Yeah.
what can I break right now? Like,
I honestly, I'll tell you another of my stories. I'm sorry, the David Troy podcast. This is ridiculous, but I'll tell you a story this morning. I'm like focused, and I'm like, oof, this feels kind of good. I could just lock in $1 million a month. Eric's texting me pictures of books, like pages of books for me to read about like focus. And
It's
I'm
a
like,
book, 10x is easier than 2x. It's not actually Grant Cardone. I forget the author, but it's an amazing. I mean, I read a lot of books. This one's been pretty eye
been
opening.
hyping this one up.
It's you know it's basically about the goal, like having a goal, right? You could have a goal of $100 million worth of real estate. You could have a goal of $1 billion worth of real estate, and then the idea is with $100 million. If your goal is $100 million worth of real estate, there's a lot of ways you could probably do that, right? You could buy a bunch of single families in Detroit. You could do, a lot. There's a lot of things you could do. But if you're gonna do $1 billion, there's really not that many things you could do. You could probably do like 3 or 4 things that take you to that level. So
I love that.
And it makes you think about, okay, what are the highest leverage, not to use the word, activities that I can do with my time?
I'm so glad you put that into words. So I want to keep building on what we were talking about, the hyper-focusing. So now I'm not pulling out of those 2 markets. But instead of doing the 10 to 60 unit deals that I'm doing, I solely want 200 units plus. If I'm going to devote resources to Arkansas or Houston, I want 200 units plus per deal because those are slugs, right? 15 to 40 million. I want slugs. I want something to impact it. Otherwise, let's keep focusing on our best and highest use market of Long Island.
Nice.
So now, remember I said I have almost 17 deals under contract and total coming up. 11 as of tomorrow, another 5 in the pipeline. Every single one's in Long Island.
Wow.
Amazing.
Nice.
What's the total? What's the total dollar amount volume on those? Roughly.
50 million.
Nice. John's like money, money, money.
And I have a $100 million portfolio, so I'm about to increase it by 50% on that one change that I made
Focused.
2 months ago.
That's amazing.
Focused.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, but you learn by trying. You guys know that. You learn by trying things. So I'm like, all right, guys, we're not getting to the billion. At this rate, we're going to have to grow, 300% year over year. It's not happening because we're going to hit our ceiling with capital. Infrastructure won't be able to keep up. You could be as optimistic as you want. I'm being realistic right now because it's my goal.
All right.
And we all have to get there together, and we'll all be very wealthy doing it. But I care about this goal. I don't really care about the money at all. I have enough money. And now I'm a very humble guy. You guys know me.
Yes.
Like, I drive the same car for the last, 7 years. I don't wear any jewelry. No, I know you guys love your watches. I just never got into it, and I don't have anything against it. I love that stuff. I really want that stuff one day, but I'm like, first $1 billion. First $1 billion, that's the objective. Everything else comes second.
They call that a North Star. That's what it's called. A lot of consultants call it having a North Star. That's where we're headed. And then having that, and then everybody on your team knowing that's where we're headed. And if it doesn't bring us closer to that North Star, then there's no point in doing it.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's you've had a really good one, which is awesome.
Yeah.
$1 million. Dude.
So much so that I didn't sell anything, guys, in years. I didn't sell anything in like 3 to 4 years. I only sold so we could get that house for my parents in 1031 to a big project. Now, all my headaches I want gone.
Yeah.
So my infrastructure could handle the bigger deal flow.
Like all your single families you're starting to sell. Yep.
I have a lot of single families.
I remember all the ones we did with JLJ Capital.
But
yes.
They're holding you back. They're holding you back from...
Exactly.
I got it.
Because we can only handle so much.
Right.
And I want to be bulletproof. I don't want people to miss anything. I'll keep hiring, but that doesn't mean you're bulletproof. A lot of people doesn't mean that you're bulletproof.
Right.
Or that you're growing or that you're a big company. It means that you have more overhead.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So slim operation. I learned this from Snapchat, doing a case study on Snapchat. Did this for fun. Snapchat had 50 employees when they were doing $1 billion a year.
Wow.
50. I have 25 employees. I'm doing what, 10 mil a year?
Yeah. That's sick.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to be like one of those giants.
Yeah.
We're like Berkshire, 29 people in the back office, $500 billion under management.
It's quality over quantity, right?
We just had Rob Beardsley from Lone Star here. $400 million in AUM. This guy's a beast. 7 employees. So, he has a property management arm that he doesn't really, I don't think he deals with, but internally, 7 people, and he's, I think over the course of the last,
Yeah, that's hard. That's really tough.
I
That's
mean,
very slim.
These are savages too. I mean, it doesn't include, I think, like anything to do with property management or, supers or anything, maintenance guys is not included in that number, but like
Okay.
internally in his team.
Got it.
So,
So I've-
investor relations, acquisitions, that.
So I have like 10
Yeah.
if I counted it that way.
That's a lean team.
Yeah, but
That's
not
a
really. He has 7 with 400 million.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I have 10 with 100 million.
But he doesn't have single families, to tell you that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
And then you learn from other people. I think the best way to learn is from other people's mistakes.
Mhm.
And you look at these other guys and girls, and it's like, all right, they just took down a $300 million deal. It's like, they took down 4 of those in 2 years. They're 1.2.
Right.
I've taken down 50 deals.
So true.
It's like, what am I doing here?
So true, man.
Listen, there's fundamentals, though, to everything, and there's the ups and the downs. You got to keep in mind that there's problems with that, too. The problems are that $1 million problem, you can handle. You can handle, I can handle. A $300 million problem, I don't.
You're wiped out. Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
there's
it's
this
a
guy,
problem.
Brian Adams, from CG. He does one deal, if that, a year. But he's doing $200 million deals. He's spending all his time. He just looks at deals and underwrites, makes offers. And then when he takes it down, he's flipping it and making like $15 million profit for himself.
Wow.
It's like the guy went from a CPA accountant to 3 years later buying $100 million deals. It's like, it just goes to show, like, if you're focused on just one thing, dude. I had this kid call me. He's like, he's having like career issues. He wants some guidance. I was talking to him like 30 minutes ago.
Also Korean?
No, I think he's Portuguese.
And you helped him?
Oh yeah,
That's weird.
I'm race.
Surprised.
I'm race agnostic. And he's like, Dave, like, I want to do development. I want to do multifamily
Yeah, I heard it.
syndications. I'm a loan officer right now. I'm a buyer's agent. He goes, I'm thinking about going back to school. I go, oh my God, you remind me of me going all over the place. And the kid's successful. He's 22 years old. He's got $90,000 he saved up on his
That's
own.
awesome.
That's very impressive, right? He's on track to make 6 figures.
More than I have now.
now.
Serious. Yeah.
Like Grant Cardone, right? You gotta spend it when you get it. But the kid, I was just like, dude, everything I've learned, I just want to give it to you. Don't make the same mistake as me. Just do one thing and spend all your time on it for the next 3 to 5 years. Give it everything you got, and I promise you're gonna come back to me and be like, Troy, I'm making $2 million a year. I'm making $3 million of profit a year. And then take that money, my friend Joseph, if you're listening to this, then go buy real estate, right? Then go figure out if you want to start another business, go for it. But while you're getting your journey started, just do one thing. You can't express that enough.
I bet Libretti has probably seen more of these success examples than any of us in his career.
What in terms of
Like
Your
clients.
borrowers,
Yeah,
yeah.
probably the guys that are most successful.
yeah?
Stuck with one thing, I'm sure.
Oh, 100%. I mean, when you and I started working together, I think the first loan I did for you was like $650,000.
Wow.
And you had at that time, that was what, 2.5, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
You didn't have anywhere near 100 million.
No, I think I had 10 million.
Yeah. That we did it with JLJ Capital. That was
Yeah.
when rates were like fucking 3.75%.
I think I was
For like a-
4.5%.
For a DSCR loan.
Like a DSCR loan.
It was
Yeah.
a 4.5% 5-year IO loan with 25 years P&I after that.
Yeah.
Damn, this guy,
That's exactly
he's
what
more
it was.
Asian than me. He got that thing locked in, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. 30-year deal.
I remember getting us a 4.0 rate on a DSCR loan. I think it was interest only, and Dave yelling at me because the rate was good.
That's probably
No
the cheapest.
yelling.
That's
No, no.
always-
4.0. That's crazy. I'm like, we look at it's like got the best interest rate in our entire portfolio right
I
now.
was gonna say that's probably the lowest in your whole
Yeah, I
life.
think we actually have like a 3.75 somewhere, but
I think we sold that one.
did we?
Yeah, the Tampa deal.
Oh, that was the 3.75.
Yeah, that's the one that Eric negotiated so hard with the lender
that they
that
stopped
they
working.
literally lost money when they securitized it, and they were like, "We're not
not working with
money
you guys
anymore."
anymore. Yeah.
Wow.
It was done. It was done.
That's hilarious.
That's crazy though. Like going back to what you were just saying, like looking back, because when I started my team at Progress, Brad gave me 2 clients. It was family from Brooklyn, and it was you.
Yeah.
And then a year and a half later, we're doing like 6, 7, 10, $12 million deals, and Brad's like, oh, I'm like, no, stay over there. So you got enough.
Dude, Brad put you on to us.
Yeah.
Really?
100%. Yeah. Eric, one day, this was what, back in like end of 2021.
I've
It had to
given
be
you
before COVID, I think.
I've given you $7 million referrals.
Yeah, you did. Mount Pleasant Ave in Newark, that one I closed. But yeah, the way I met Eric was, I think it was like end of 2021.
Yeah, I think it was before COVID. I'm pretty sure.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
No.
Anyway, whatever. Brad was talking to, I guess.
No, you're right. It had to be after
I
COVID.
guess you guys sent him a deal to size it up for debt.
Yeah.
And Brad was like, oh, you talked to Eric and his partner. They're like your age. And I remember on the phone with them the first time, I was kind of nervous. I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta like know what I'm talking about. Like, this kid Eric's like a little intimidating on the phone.
Eric is a
And-
little intimidating.
And I gotta tell you, we are nowhere. You know, like
Yeah.
in the scheme of things, we're nowhere.
A
People
little-
all the time are like, "You're successful. You're doing so great," and I'm like, "Not really."
No, we got a long way to go.
Yeah.
But you're always gonna say that, I think.
Yeah,
I
that
think-
endless feeling of not being enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're always gonna say it.
I went to a high school reunion a couple weeks ago, and everyone's coming up to me. Like, yo, Joel, hey, oh my God, I can't believe it, bro. You're killing it. I'm like, I was just like, glory, thank God, right? I'm a degenerate, thank God. But when I went home that day, and I was like, I really ain't shit.
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten anywhere near my goals, yeah, I think that's something that we're gonna all struggle with for the rest of our lives. Like that, enough. This, like,
Yeah.
whatever. If we're worth $1 billion or $2 billion, it just doesn't matter.
Yep.
We just need more.
Can't get comfortable.
Yeah, like when you get to $1 billion, you're gonna be like, all right, how do I get to 10?
Yeah. Whether it's 10 or something else.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I met a guy
What's
today.
the next rung?
Yep. I met a guy today that he clears $100 million net a year.
Damn.
Over by me, right in Lakewood.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very successful people. Like, wow. And you know why they started their company? To hire people for the community.
To make jobs.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they went to Israel and they just went to hire people. They're just like, I don't want people to leave Israel to go to Europe and America and other countries and leave the motherland. I want them to stay here and have a job. So they started there. And now they have 1,000 employees there, 2,000 here.
Whoa.
And the goal is just to retain employees. And they're printing money. But
What do they
that's
do?
been the goal.
I don't get it.
What do they do?
Can't even talk about it.
Okay.
They like really did not want me to talk about
Okay,
anything.
okay.
But
But
I was just so inspired
That's
by
insane.
that.
That's
It-
insane.
It's a goal beyond yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Why do you want to get to $1 billion?
Well, when I was 5 years old, I wrote a business plan to buy a bank. And
Do you have this business?
You're sick. You're sick in the head a little bit.
What the hell? When you came out of the womb, like, oh,
This
that's
guy-
ridiculous.
yeah.
Well,
I was
continue on. I'm
5.
sorry.
I was 5. We all lived in
If
an
you didn't,
attic.
if you weren't sure if this guy's a little different, it's like, all right, yeah.
I called the bank Chill. Like, that was the name of the bank, and I made it like icicles come off of it. Like, you know, that's how you know as a 5-year-old made it. You know, it's like a chill bank. And my mom's like, Allon, you're not chill at all, you know? And I was like, Mom, I'm going to buy a bank one day, and we're going to have a lot of money and a great life, and you and Dad won't have to work hard anymore, and you can
Aw.
live the
That's
best
awesome.
life you want. And it just like converted to real estate, and I always wanted that like goal, right? So the goal became $1 billion. That way I could hyper focus on something, you know? So when I was in high school, I was hyper focused on buying my own car and paying the bills and all this stuff, just getting out of that, you know, that poor life and problems all the time and not enough.
Yeah.
That was an upbringing thing,
Yeah.
you know, and I hope I can relay that to my children one day, where it's like,
It's going
you
to
know,
be damn near hard. It's going to be real hard to do that.
very challenging to do
Yeah.
stuff like that. So back then it was a bank. Now it's $1 billion. It's just an objective. You know, once I hit that objective, then maybe I'll go back to wanting to buy a bank,
Yeah.
you know, or hitting $10 billion. But at that point, the momentum's behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so much
you're on the
easier.
elevator.
It's
at
easy
that
at
point.
that point.
Yep. I mean, I love the challenge so much. It's like a sickness. You know, my sister the other day is like, Allon, it's your business. It's not mine, whatever. I'm like, take it. Have the whole thing.
Wow.
Let me do it again.
Yeah.
You know, I still have the relationships. I have all of this. I'll rebuild it, but I know how to build it better this time.
So something about that sounds fun, right?
Yeah.
Starting all over. It's
You
just
can't,
like,
we're just so addicted to the chaos.
yeah, we just, but this time starting over. I would not make the, like, what to avoid now.
People tell me, what would you do differently? People ask me,
What would you?
Allon, if you could go back, what would you do differently? I'd go bigger.
Yeah. That's what we said.
Dude.
We said the same exact
Dude.
thing. Me and Dave did a podcast. It was just us two. And it was like, if you could give one piece of advice to someone starting out, and I think my advice was go big. Go big.
Bro.
I want to ask a question just out of personal curiosity. I noticed your team. Everyone I talked to on your team, they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're great, and they would die for you. I feel like, and I just feel it. I don't know why. Like, they love you, they respect you. They probably hate you a lot of the time, but
Rayback is like super integral for you.
Oh yeah, Rayback's
he's
a
the
key
best.
component.
how did you find these guys and like talk to me about like your culture and how you retain them?
Well, I think you go with the go-giver mentality,
Yeah.
right? And then people appreciate that. And those that don't, you have to cut off quickly. So the go-giver mentality is giving first and then getting over time.
Yep.
And if you do that from your heart, then people will appreciate you. Those that don't appreciate you, you need to be cognizant of that. And you need to cut them off very quickly. So I'll give you guys a prime example. Robbie is hiding in the corner over there, my videographer.
Robbie.
Buddy boy.
Robbie, how old are you now? When did I give you money to buy your first car?
I think I was maybe 18 or 19.
So before I was even in real estate, never even thought about a videographer, anything. Robbie was my cousin's friend. He said, "Hey, I need help. He's a good kid. I've seen him around with my cousins and everything." And I back then I had e-commerce stores. I'm like, "What do you need help with?" He's like, "I need whatever it was, $6,000." And to me at the time, $6,000 was significant, but nothing crazy. I'm like, you know what? I trust you. No interest, no nothing. Pay it back as you can, whenever you can. And I bought him his first car. So over time, Robbie came to work with me, and you just can't make up that loyalty.
Yeah.
Like, I was there for him when he was a kid. I always looked out for him anytime he needed anything ever. And now he's with me. Robbie's my guy.
Ride or die, this guy.
Yeah, he won't stab me in the back.
Look at him go. Look at him go.
You build that,
Right.
I've done that kind of thing for Rayback. I've done that kind of thing for a lot of people on my team. Some of them I haven't.
Right.
But that's just the type of person I am, and I think that's contagious.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And that is, that can go one of two ways, right? That could either work awesome, or it could not work. And you're okay with either outcome. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I have a goal. I
Yeah.
can't let anything deter me from that.
Right.
Except for relationship. That kind of threw me off a little bit, but I'm bouncing back now.
Don't they always?
Yeah. You think you have no kryptonite, and then all of a sudden
It
it's
happened.
Oh,
Trust
women.
me.
Women are very powerful. Very, very powerful.
unbelievable.
Oh, they'll ruin your life. They'll
Can't live
ruin
without
your
him
life.
though.
Can't live without them. Listen, it's very important to get.
Don't get me going. Don't even get me going.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, they have the power to.
There they
Yeah. I'm not gonna talk about this.
He just caught himself.
go. Yeah,
Josh is not gonna cut this one out of the podcast today. He
Usually
looked at me
they
and said,
cut
"Don't do it, David, please."
Do not cut anything out of this one.
Yeah, usually Dave has to get like 3 to 4 scenes.
This
cut
has been a good one.
out. This is good.
All right. Concluding advice, Allon. All right. There's a young man
Or woman.
or a woman.
Korean or not?
She's
Jewish?
North Korean, actually.
Oh, she's not sad.
But crazy enough, she converted to Judaism.
Wow. I
So
like this
she's
one.
a North Korean
Jew.
Jew. Yeah.
You should have let him say it. 'Cause
And now aspiring. She has people in her family in North Korea suffering, right? She wants to go and rescue them. She needs to make a lot of money. Okay. She says, I heard about real estate. I want to learn about real estate. What do I do? How can I make a lot of money?
Well, that's an awfully loaded question.
Where do I focus?
That's a very challenging question because real estate's built of so many components,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
So, from my biased opinion.
This is an Asian woman, by the way.
So she's
So
good with Excel.
She's good with Excel. She's good at math. She likes math.
I mean, I'll generalize this to the non-Jews or North Koreans. If you want to get started in real estate, then the first step you have to take is just that. It's that first step. Long story short, you can't be a bitch. And I've used
go
that
for it.
frame I've used that reference multiple times. Like, just don't be a bitch. Just do it.
Yeah.
There's endless you could learn online. There's endless people you can listen to. There's no lack of knowledge and gurus and everything that you could listen to. You can listen to me. You can listen to you guys. You can listen to Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, whoever you want.
Yeah.
You just have to do it.
Yep.
And once you get started, you're going to learn from your own mistakes, mitigate that as much as possible, but make something happen. If you can't take the first step, you're not built for it, and you're not going to get anywhere. So first, stepping stones. Next, stepping blocks. Keep that in mind. Escalator follows that, and one day you'll be on the elevator if you have the consistency and the wherewithal to be focused.
Got it. Sounds like the first thing is take a step to learn.
Yeah, go for it.
Education. You got to go and show up at networking events. You have to pick up a couple of books. You got to listen to a couple podcasts. Maybe pay for some mentorship.
But you know what? You got to actually do something, though. You can't.
to take
You know how many
action.
people? I remember going to those events and how many people were like, "Oh, I remember vividly one guy saying, I have to read 50 books on real estate and then I'm gonna buy a deal."
Yeah.
I said, "Buy one deal, bro. You'll learn more than you do in all 50 books."
I have a friend that can't even read. He's doing like $100 million a year in condo sales. Can't even
Insane.
read.
He actually
Yeah.
can't. He actually can't read.
He can't read English,
Wow,
This guy's an animal.
and he's
Wow.
doing $100 million in condo sales a year.
Jeez.
that's
So,
insane.
so that's that's total bullshit about that guy, like his ideas.
Yeah,
But I actually don't like those questions anymore. Like, what should I do? What's my first step? What's this? Like, so go scroll through my Instagram for the last 5 years and you watch.
Yeah.
Long story short, what you'll take from it is that I wasn't a bitch.
Yeah.
I took a hard money loan for $250,000, 14% personal guarantee, and everyone was a naysayer. But aren't you worried about your credit? You won't be able to buy your first house. What are you doing, Allon? You don't even have $250,000. All you've got to your name is $40,000. And it's that figure it out mentality that gets you there.
We're going to end it with that, Allon. Allon, if the people want to invest with you, people want to send you deals or just connect, what's the best place to reach you?
Go to avgi.com and fill out one of the forms for a deal. Go to Allon Avgi on Instagram and DM me. I respond to hundreds of people a day.
My man, it was a true pleasure to have you here today. Path to $1 billion. Congratulations on all your success, brother.
Thanks, man. I'm going to make some whale socks.
this
Start
was
selling
awesome.
those.
There's two people I love on this podcast. It's people our age that are just killing it, and then there's people that have already done it before. But for you, a super motivating dude, and every time I see you, you're just killing it. You make me want to go run through a wall. So appreciate you, bro.
Thanks,
everything you've done, and looking forward to seeing what the future has.
Run through some walls.